Welcome to Vikings football with head coach Bruce Barnum as the Vikings get ready to play their season finale this Saturday. Portland State will play at Northern Colorado. It is a noon Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time kickoff, and you can watch that game on ESPN+. We'll talk a little bit about that game. We'll talk a little bit about what lies ahead, perhaps maybe a little recruiting in a moment or two. But, Coach, let's just touch on the game with Montana. Last Saturday, of course, the Vikings went down 34-10 against the number 3 Grizz. They proved to be what everybody thinks they are when they came in here. Played very, very well against your team. Just a few thoughts on that game.
They did. They played well in all three phases, Mike. You go and look at their season, and they finally settled on a quarterback. On the offensive side, their defense has always been strong, and special teams. They even nubbed us in special teams as far as field position, et cetera. So it was, it'll be an interesting matchup this week over there in Missoula when they play the blue team.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to ask you real quick. Montana and Montana State will play this Saturday, and the winner takes all. They'll be the Big Sky champion. Obviously, both of those teams are going to make the postseason. They're both 9-1 on the year, or actually Montana State 8-2, but they're tied in the Big Sky Conference. Any thoughts on how that game may play out?
Oh, we've seen them both, a little blood on my side with Cooper playing, the mighty number 40 for the Grizz. You root for your kids, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be a hell of a game, It's always a great game, and now they're playing for the marbles.
All right, one other thought I had about that Montana game. I'm going to help out our cameraman Grady right here because I know he's got the highlight. Jermaine Braddock, I'm going to mention him. I'm not sure I've mentioned him all year. Has had a great season for you. The wide receiver, 50 catches, over 500 yards, 7 touchdowns, and he's been really a steady guy in your offense when you've had skill position injuries and you've had your share at wide receiver, at running back, what have you. How about the season he's turned in? A great addition to the team this year.
Can't say enough about it. Who he is, number one. I mean, he's soft-spoken, he's a step ahead of you. He's never on a list that's a negative, and then his play. I think he's one of the purest route runners. We took him because once he caught the football from, San Jose's, once he caught it, boom, he'd get north-south right away and get in the cave. But to see how he runs the top end of a route and that, you can tell why he's getting catches and why he's getting open, Sometimes he kind of catches a ball like Happy the Clown, but he always catches it. So that, and I think he's sneaky fast. He runs kind of goofy, but he runs by people. So it's been fun to have him. Anxious to see his final game with us.
And just to recap that, he said, boom, he gets north-south right away, and he gets in the cave. Folks, you're going to miss that kind of commentary in the offseason. Okay, let's talk about Northern Colorado. The Vikings going to play at Greeley, Colorado. It's probably going to feel a little bit like this. I've looked at the forecast. It is chilly here today. It's Tuesday at Portland State. It's chilly, but the weather is going to be a little like this. A little sunny, maybe 50-ish, cold overnight, decent conditions. And the Vikings want to finish this one on a strong note. Coach, what have you seen from Northern Colorado? You've looked at some film already in terms of your preparation.
Well, first off, Mike, for the fans on both sides, I've seen 52, 28 at night, and about 7-mile-an-hour winds, 6.97 miles an hour. So that's the field, or the field conditions. I've been there a few times. It's a tough place to play. But Northern Colorado, Ed Lamb. Ed Lamb is one of the most competitive, great coaches, great people. I know he's probably frustrated as hell, but to watch their football team, they're not scoring enough. And their turnovers on the season, you see they're only -3, which, yeah, it's not where he wants to be, but it's not the reason why. But, I heard they're back and forth with quarterbacks. Watched a little bit of that side of the ball, but they're playing hard. They're close in every game. I think only one team's, beat them by an ugly score. So it's a tough game. It's a Big Sky. They'll be ready to go. It's senior day. I think it's military day. And you better be prepared for Ed Lamb. Not just his X's and O's, just what he puts on the field effort-wise.
And the Bears have been at the bottom of the conference all season. It is a transition year. You mentioned the new coach. So Ed Lamb did a great job at Southern Utah, and he's no doubt going to rebuild that program. But at the bottom of the conference, last game of the year, the playbook's probably wide open. Playbook's probably wide open for the Vikings, too. We're going to see maybe some fireworks, some unusual things this week from either side.
We're going to do everything we can to win the game. We got to tackle, we got to block, we got to take care of the
tackling and blocking.
Yeah, okay. Stuff even but no, anything goes. I just wanted to put together a solid game with our group. I wasn't happy with some of the things last week on the football field this late in the season, but that's us, and that's a little Grizz thrown in there, whooping our ass. But hoping to put a solid game, win the field position. I didn't like that, last week. So put together a game, take care of the football, and try to get out of there with a dub.
All right, moving on, the Vikings, as we come to the conclusion of the year, if you were at the game, you saw 11 seniors. That's not very many. You had a highly touted freshman class that came in this year. Everybody knew about it. And in my view, they've truly lived up to expectations. You've had a number of them starting, a number of them playing a lot. What's your analysis of that freshman group? Happy
with them, Mike. They're young, they're too skinny, but they've got the bodies I need. They've got the wanna. We need to start their off season. I need to get them in the weight room. I need to get the nutrition side of it, and I need to build them up so they're better athletes, so they can dominate, instead of playing well. But to get them that experience, I think is going to pay off in the end. So we're going to jump right in the off season. Once they get back from eating a drumstick and gravy, if you're what do they call it, vegans. But I'm excited about it. Now we're already working on putting another one together.
All right, and speaking of that, that'll be my last question. Recruiting, that becomes the focus as soon as the season ends, Coach. Maybe some thoughts on what will be your staff's emphasis, what you're looking for in the offseason.
We'll sprinkle everywhere, Mike. We'll take anybody that we think's a superstar, but only losing 11. I think we have to fortify up front a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, offensive line, get some more bodies there, some good ones. And recruiting, I wish it was just starting. Now with the portals and people jumping, it's really become a year-round deal. We've already got some commitment. Now they got the December signing date, they got the February signing date, but we're on it. My coaches, we've been doing it every Wednesday night. Thanks to Kyle Ritt, the mighty Peter Schmitza ex-player down there. We're eating some extra mushroom pepperonis while we call kids and watch a video kill the radio star. So we're on it. We have a meeting right after this practice, watching some more films. So that's how we're going to win. That's how we're going to get it going.
All right, Vikings heading to Greeley, Colorado. Any surprises? Anything we can look forward to on this final trip, Coach? Anything I can get excited about away from the field?
Well, I talked to John Ely. He's helping out. He does travel. We're staying where the prime coach, the Colorado guy, that's where they stay overnight for their games. Same hotel, so maybe you can sleep in the room he was in. Never know. The game, if it goes into overtime, double overtime, triple overtime, we're going to have to do something quick because our plane leaves at night. We got to get back down to Denver and get on the airplane. So probably run the ball and try to keep that clock moving and get out of there just so we make our date. But no, last trip with this group, losing those 11 guys, it's cut down a little bit. Our entire travel party's only 90. So taking the ones who are ready to rock and roll for one last outing.
All right. I can't wait to get on the plane. The Vikings playing at Northern Colorado this Saturday. Once again, a noon Mountain Time kickoff, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. You can watch it on ESPN+. And for all your information on Vikings football, go to GoVikes.com.